Hello and welcome to VOD of Consciousness with Sientir. I am Sientir. You can support me at patreon.com/Sientir, letting people know about my content. And it's start of a new recording session, and I'm having to reorient myself to exactly where I was in our, because that's not a useful quest, in our little bit of a venture into the events with a certain Mr. Thackeray. So, I feel like I probably just got a thing. Did I just do the story of the broken sword? I don't think I did this. We'll find out really quickly. Oh, Aurora Glade. Okay, then we did this. We did this. This was a thing. I needed to do the thing that was the defense of Beetleton neck. So, let me quickly check. Okay, we need to go to Watchtower Coast. So never mind what I was just doing, because I've done that already. Therefore, it's not important to do it again, for obvious reasons, I hope. Let's grab ourselves a Koss, and Miku can help us retrace her steps, right? Then I think I'm using Prius and Gwen and Talki. Cool. I want these guys because they are charge users, and charge is nice. As I do some of this, I watched a video today. This will date this episode a little bit, but of Wooden Potatoes talking about what he would have liked for a Guild Wars 2, calling it True Wars 2, or what would be a true sequel to this game here. And it's interesting because that sort of subject is something that I've I've personally thought about some. Guild Wars 2 is a game that I would really like, but I find the combat boring. Nola Shepard just says, "Hello, please don't be alarmed, Lieutenant. Thackeray sent me to help you with your current tasks," whatever. So, I'm a huge fan of this game, and my problem with Guild Wars 2 is that either it is too much like this game, or it is not enough like this game. It's kind of the simple way that I'd kind of phrase that. And that might seem like an odd thing to say, but the reason why I say that... Okay, where's the healer? There you are. Is because the primary issue is Guild Wars 2 cleaves a little too much. It's not quite actiony enough to be a proper action game, but it's a little too I don't know. My biggest problem with it, quite bluntly, as I've been thinking about it, is the AI. I think that the AI is just... The AI enemies are just not sufficiently... Okay, this is getting ridiculous. The AI enemies are just not sufficiently empowered to be a problem, as it were. And that kind of leaves... I think... Okay, you're doing an Aegis over there. Sorry, this is one of those topics where it's really hard to discuss things. So I might as well discuss this here now. I'm planning on, with the new year, changing up what I'm doing, because VOD of Consciousness has ceased to kind of be what I wanted it to be, plus I think the name is a little too cute. So I wanted VOD of Consciousness to be a series where I could kind of talk about things that were of interest to me. However, as well as get through my gaming backlog. It's become a Guild Wars 1 Let's Play, which, I enjoy, but has the issue of, A, playing Guild Wars 1 is a very mentally occupying task, because there's just a lot to kind of think about, process, prioritizing targets. Hopefully we don't spend a bajillion years in this zone. Prioritizing targets, figuring out skill bars, just all sorts of different things. It is a somewhat demanding game to play, which is fine. But it means that it's very difficult for me to talk about other things. Plus, I have been kind of devoted to trying to advance the story. Actually, I want to check back here just to make sure that this wasn't like super close by and I didn't just like wander past the item I'm looking for. So what I'm intending to do, okay, I'm seeing just Beetleton over there, is because part of the goal was to play games other than Guild Wars 1, but I kind of feel like I'm trying to keep a narrative going. So what I'm intending to do is for the rest of this year, and I should make a note that I'm talking about future plans in this episode so I can include it in the description. Talking about future plans. Cool. I write up the descriptions usually after I finish an episode, but if the commentary moves away from this, I want to make sure that I remember that I did this so that way I can call it out specifically. So my intention is to kind of finish off some of the stuff I feel I've committed to. So Hearts of the North. I want to do Winter's Day stuff when Winter's Day comes out, which is at the end of this year. Then otherwise, the main thing I want to do is way back we started the Young Heroes of Tyria, and we've got 2 missions left. We've got the Frost Gate and the Gates of Kryta. And I want to finish those 2 missions on screen. So those are kind of the things that I know I want to fill out the rest of this episode with. What I'm planning on doing starting next year, I need to look at the calendar to see exactly how this is going to work, because I might do some stuff during the sort of transition time if it doesn't occur nicely in the week. But is on the weekends, do post-commentary Guild Wars 1 stuff. So I will play Guild Wars 1 and record it, and then I will record a post-commentary about some subject I want to discuss. And then I will, at that point, 100 gold, be able to discuss something without having to have a bunch of my brain power go towards playing the game and figuring out where I'm going and all that business. So it will be more that Guild Wars is on the background, and I want that to be on weekends. On weekdays, I want to do some sort of Let's Play of some sort of game. So, for example, I have a huge Steam backlog that I want to work through, but one of the games in particular that I want to make sure I'm making time to play soon, relatively speaking, is Stellaris, because I'm curious about what that game does. So, that's just some of my future plans. So that's kind of what I'm intending to do with the new year. Frankly, as much as I enjoy kind of doing a Guild Wars 1 Let's Play, and I do enjoy it, it is not providing this sort of creative outlet that I was initially wanting VOD of Consciousness to provide. And it also, because having a focused commentary is difficult, I'm surprised I'm doing as well with this one as I am, quite frankly. And I'm not getting to the other sorts of games that I wanted to in the way that I did, so I kind of feel that I want to make the change to make VOD of Consciousness more into what my original vision for it had been. So, and I'm going to just kind of drop any specific names with anything. I don't feel that the VOD of Consciousness label is particularly doing me any favors either. It makes sense when you understand the convoluted wordplay that bore it, but I have to explain the convoluted wordplay, so it's kind of worthless from that standpoint. Seeping Wound is a skill that I don't generally consider bringing because its duration is very short. As you saw there, well, I don't even know if it was removed from me or... Like, I can show you over here on Miku. Seeping Wound, 6 seconds, and she's got friggin' 13 critical strikes, which is very high. So... The idea, I guess, is that snares are powerful, I think. But anyway, I've got a number of ideas for stuff that I want to talk about, but there's just a lot of just different subjects. And so I used to do something called Ramblers on this channel. Well, that's a Chinese name if ever I saw one. And Ramblers were kind of like me talking kind of off the cuff about whatever subject I wanted to. And they were fine, but the name was admittedly a little off-putting. Or at least that was some of the feedback that I got from my parents, so I'm going to trust them somewhat on these matters. And it was also kind of defocused to what it was about, that sort of thing. And I want that same sort of creative outlet. It should hopefully not be too bad to produce in terms of difficulty to produce it. I am looking for this one. Where do they even get the corpse for the flesh golem from? But I do want to start doing some Let's Play stuff, so... Anyway, I feel like I'm talking in circles about that. But yeah, I want to be able to reclaim sort of the creative outlet that Ramblers were. I stopped doing them for in favor of Geekdom of God, which I think Geekdom of God is better content. But it's a more focused thing, and it's more effort to produce. It is... Ooh. Gotta love an AoE attack with a splinter weapon on you. So it's more effort to produce, it's more highly produced, but it no longer has sort of the free-form creative outlet, because like I write a script for it. It's a scripted show. Script writing is a pain in the butt. It's not a thing I enjoy per se, but it makes everything else significantly faster and smoother, so it's worth doing. So... Anyway, I was talking kind of off the top about what I kind of would want as a proper sequel to this game to be. Honestly, I really like sort of the experience of doing stuff with heroes. So I wouldn't mind seeing more of a single-player type Guild Wars sequel or prequel experience. For me, the biggest issue with Guild Wars 2 is that the enemies are uninteresting to fight, and I'm not talking about bosses here. I know that they've done a lot with some of the bosses and things like that, but it's the moment-by-moment gameplay element. The world, I think, it's impressively big, but detrimentally so to some extent. And I think there's things that can help with that. The mounts probably are a big help, but making sure that your minute-by-minute gameplay is really engaging is really important. And I find combat in the game to be really uninteresting. And it's largely because it's auto-attack focused, which is a very passive style of combat. So just turning on active style combat helps with that. Okay, that person's not a threat then. We have enchantment removal. Okay, you need to be given some pressure. But, so I've played all of the professions in that game. Like, I have played all the classes in Guild Wars 2. And my fundamental issue with them is that they all feel the same. And it's not because they aren't different. They are. They're actually quite different. But the issue is predominantly because all of the enemies are so similar that you kind of engage with them the same sort of way. So I run into this issue where because the enemies, and again, I'm talking about the standard enemies, tend to be so bland to fight that I'm not having to kind of adapt my strategy. Like, there's plenty of single-player games, and this is part of the issue, too, is this game is a party-focused game, right? And so I'm playing a role in this team, but I have AI companions and that sort of stuff. It's a lot more freeform in Guild Wars 2. It needs to be designed, particularly for the general gameplay experience, it needs to be designed more like something like a Shadow of Mordor or Diablo in terms of how the player operates. And I don't think it was. I think it was designed too much like this game to its detriment. And I think that if it had been designed more like a Confessor's Orders, how quaint. More like a... Why are you using Malign Intervention? More like a single-player experience, it could be better balanced to be more engaging. Okay, well, there's Divinity Coast and Ian Stormy, whatever. That's not the item I'm looking for. I'm pretty sure it was in Watchtower Coast, so... Hopefully my entering the thing didn't, like, cause weird spawning glitches or anything. But anyway, so what I want, like, in this game here, each enemy behaves differently. I have a distinct role, that sort of stuff. In Guild Wars 2, the role tends to be very indistinct. When you're solo, you're basically everything, right? You're DPS, control, healing. You're playing all roles. So the question then is, how do you make playing all of the roles interesting and different for each profession? And fundamentally, part of it is how they interact with enemies and how they interact with various things needs to vary. Why am I getting a lag spike here? This is not you. This is the game lag spiking. It does that very occasionally. Oh, there's the Shining Blade Cloak. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. So I need to go down into that ravine. This doesn't do anything. Speed boost cap is 30%. So what that means is if a single skill increases your speed above 33%, did I say 30%? It's 33%. A single skill, if it increases your speed above 33%, it'll increase it by that amount. Like dash will increase your move speed by 50% for 3 seconds. But if you have multiple skills that improve your speed, they cannot increase it more than 33% in aggregate. Just a random factoid. So this doesn't actually make me faster than the rest of my team because the charge is going to keep everybody moving at the same 33% speed. Sure, we will fight you guys. So, yeah, it's about making sure that the way that each... Okay, what is seriously going on with these lag spikes? They're not... Hopefully they're not affecting the video too badly. Is my ping, like, awful? No? Oh, thanks, Nola. You befriended that. She has, like, Verada's gaze for some reason. Okay, now we're fighting Murgoyles. This is a bit ridiculous. So anyway, because I feel like each profession interacts with the enemies in the exact same way, interacts with situations the exact same way, they all use the same dodge mechanic, which is one of the major ways that you kind of interact with stuff. I just feel like it creates a very singularly similar experience with all enemies that you fight and is fundamentally uninteresting. And part of that's because enemies need to, like, the combat needs to be more actively engaged with, I think. Anytime that you're playing a game, and I know I'm not getting through this right now, so let me go to this and I'll try to get back to what I was saying. Before you lie the remnants of what appears to be a Shining Blade cloak, discarded and torn, the presence of the solitary cloak provokes questions. Why was its owner alone? Were they running towards something or running away? Whatever transpired here, the scrying pool should be able to reveal it to you. Okay, the mantles, guys. And how much stuff do I have? Okay, fairly full inventory here. Most of this is merchant food, except for the beverage, which is not. Okay, so I need to clear out my inventory. Where's the chest? There it is. My chest. Merchant food is just why I refer to stuff that I don't need to hang on to. I don't know why I call it that. Oh, must be over here. There's my hard apple ciders. I need you to take all this junk I don't need. Okay, let's equip Keiren's bow. Another one of them weird lag spikes. That's that. So anyway, as I was saying, anytime you have the player not doing anything, like right now I'm not doing anything, right? My hands are off the controls, my character's auto running forward, I'm not doing anything to engage with the game. That means that I'm not engaged with the game. So when that happens, the player can become bored because they're becoming disengaged, they're not being stimulated, they're not really feeling like they're doing anything. The scrying pool begins to react as you approach, thoughts of the Shining Blade cloak fixed firmly in your mind. So that... Here's what we're looking for. That effect can come about in multiple ways, but one of them is definitely by not doing anything. Okay, good people of Beetleton, we come to you on behalf of Queen Salma. The Sixth Blessed Salma, what can we do to help? The Queen is imposing new taxes upon... Okay, this is a Shining Blade warrior. Upon all of her subjects. Those unable to pay will do so with their lives. And since this village looks rather poor, your deaths will be your vow of fealty. What? No, someone help us. Okay, so we're here to help these people who are these white mantle who are impersonating that. People of Beetleton, we shout from over there. You have been deceived by the white mantle. They seek to tarnish the name of the Shining Blade, and they will unless we stand up. They will write their message in your blood unless we face them down here and now. If we stand together, we can win this battle. I will lead you to victory. We should get an 8th skill soon here, I think. Have faith, and we will see this through. There's nothing to fear. Oh, okay, we get great... we're with you. We get nothing to fear. For 60 seconds, reduces damage by 10% for allies with an earshot. Affected allies heal for 35 on shot. So it's a weakened version of it, but, you know, it's a version nonetheless. But this affects allies and not just party members, so that's strong. Okay. Ah, here we are. I don't know why they made this creative decision. Actually, I have some guesses. You'll see what I'm talking about in a moment here, or in a bit. Maybe not this episode, but. I mean, that works. Fight hard. Make the white mantle regret ever threatening your homes. You get insta killed. It's going to be hard to talk about this stuff because I'm doing all this dialogue. That's another thing too, as I've been doing so much like plot related stuff that it makes doing anything more dialogue focused a little bit challenging. You get to be one shot. Oh good, they're healing me. That's nice. Wow. Talk about loading me down with junk. Heal skill, please start healing me. Okay. Focusing now on staying alive. Ooh, staying alive. Okay, that guy just fell over. Okay, this is ridiculous. Okay. Looks like the Crichtons have managed to mostly deal with what's going on over there. Okay, looks like you managed to succeed on that promise of death, that Mantle Knight. And I got lucky on that one. Oh, back up. You need to go down, because you're the jerk resurrecting all the enemies. Nope, not doing anything. Ooh, red die. I will take a red die. Finish the story of Keiren's journey, where Keiren and Miku meet the White Mantle of Beetleton. So we've already met Miku. This occurs, I believe, before the events, at least the events that she was involved in, that we are familiar with from the previous thing that we did together. You can find their weakness yourself, notably. Ooh, we got a slice of pumpkin pie. That sounds good. I like pumpkin pie. Oh, good. The Crichtons managed to resurrect themselves. Okay. You did a thing to me, and I don't appreciate it. Miku, here, you have this. No, you don't need a winnowing. You need to be interrupted. Ooh, some more hard apple cider. Stand fast! We can break them. Okay, Miku says this looks like the big one. I missed this dialogue completely. This looks like the big one. I hope you're ready. Stand fast, we can break them. Okay. Yeah, we don't need anybody using Light of friggin' Dwayna here. Light of Dwayna is an AoE resurrect, kind of like a really bad version of the Paragon Shout. Except a bad version of a good skill is, or reasonably solid skill anyway. Still a potential problem. We've done it! Our village is safe! You did a brave thing back there. You didn't just save those people. You gave them the courage to fight for themselves. Now I understand what it means to be a leader. I know that I can change, and I can be something more, thanks to you. Where are you, Miku? There you are. Don't flatter me too much. I only brought out what was there all along. I just remembered I need one of those. Listen, just as you've realized something, so have I. There's a place that I need to return to. There's unfinished business I need to take care of. You can come with me. I like having you by my side. It would be so easy for me to say yes, but I have unfinished business of my own. Someone I need to return to. Someone who has been nothing but difficult. And doesn't she know it? But I understand now. The challenge is what drew me to her. I need to see this through. Hello, Miku. I like the design on the back of her jacket thing. I suspected as much. Farewell, Keiren. I hope that our paths will cross again someday. It'll give you it'll give you time to reconsider. I think this might have been the first time we encounter. Oh, Medals of Honor. I want those. I do not need the samurai. Granted, probably just give it to me, but still. Keiren, you brash, idiotic, persistent, childish, sweet fool. He's out there somewhere, and he's looking for me. Saith the Gwen. This time I'm going to meet him halfway. That's the only way this is going to work. Please, help me find him. I need to see him once more. There's something I have to tell him. Of course, Gwen. Of course. The skill, or the quest reunion, which we will take a look at, or we'll be doing next time. But the quest dialogue says, Keiren should be here by now. Knowing him, he's stubborn enough to try going it on foot. If he did, that would probably put him somewhere near Anvil Rock. That's where we should begin our search. Please, this is something that I need to do. Let's make sure he gets home safely. And with that, I bid you farewell. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.